Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back. This is Mrs. Maldonado. I have prepared another guided reading lesson for you. So let's go ahead and get started. See what the title of our book is. And it is School Rules. And it is by Elizabeth Bennet. And it's illustrated by Fran Fu. Okay, boys and girls, within our text, within our story, we will be finding some words that are in bold print, like the one that I'm circling there. Okay, and bold print means that it's darker print. It's darker than the other words that we see within our text. And it's in bold print, boys and girls, because they are to stand out. They are our vocabulary words. Okay, also within our text, I wanted to point out that there will be some rhyming words. So let's see if you can hear those rhyming words. All right, so let's go ahead and get started reading on page 2, and you could follow along if you like. Wake up, Finn, called Mrs. Poole. Today is your first day of school. Grab your backpack, wash your face. It's 8 o'clock. You need to race. Okay, so let's look at page number 2. Okay, we have pool and school. Pool, school. They both say ool. So those two words rhyme. And then on page 3, we have face and race. Face and race, they both say ace. So those words also rhyme, boys and girls. Now let's take a look at our vocabulary word, and that is a compound word. That means that it's two words that are put together to make one word. So we have back and we have pack. We put it together and we make backpack. So what is a backpack? Well, it's a large bag that you wear on your back. Okay, let's move on to page 4. Finn swam from his seaweed bed. He waved goodbye and off he sped. His teacher's name was Mrs. Swim. She told her students, please come in. Okay, so let's take a look at page number 4. And let's look at the two words at the end of those two sentences. We have bed and sped. They both say ed. So those two words rhyme. Now let's look at the two words at the end of page 5. We have swim and in. Do those two words rhyme? Swim, in. Okay, so that it has an M at the end and the other one has an N. Those are two sounds, N and M. Okay, so those two words do not rhyme. All right, so now let's look at our vocabulary word, and that vocabulary word is students. Okay, students are people who learn at school. Okay, so people, if we're at school and we're learning, we are students. Okay, let's go to the next two pages. Welcome to our little school. Let's go over every rule. Learning together is really great. It's important to cooperate. Okay, so we have school and rule. School, rule. They both say ool. And guess what, boys and girls? The word rule is also in bold print. So that means that that's our vocabulary word. So rule, what does rule mean? Well, rule means what you should or should not do. Okay, we have many rules that we need to follow at school, don't we? We also have rules at home, and we have rules in other places that we go to that we need to follow to keep ourselves and everyone else safe. Okay, so let's look at page number 7. We have great and cooperate. Great, cooperate. They both say 8. Okay, and also cooperate is one of our vocabulary words. And cooperate, boys and girls, that means to work together. So if we're thinking of our habits, what habit does that remind you of? Cooperate. Cooperate is to synergize, right? To work together. And that is a good thing to do because that also helps others learn new ideas. Okay, so let's move right along to our next two pages. Concentrate. Don't drift away. Listen to what I have to say. Whether you're writing or taking a test, challenge yourself to do your best. Okay, so we have away and say. Away, say. They both say A. And then if we take a peek at page 8, we see that our bold print word is concentrate. What is concentrate? Well, concentrate means to give your attention to something. So if somebody says, concentrate on your work, that means that to give all of your attention to what you are doing, right? We have to focus. It's kind of another word for focus, to concentrate. Okay, so let's take a look at page 9. We have test and best. Test, best, they both say est. Okay, and the word that we have in bold print there is challenge. What does challenge mean? Well, it means to try to do something that is hard. And we should always challenge ourselves, boys and girls, because that helps us learn. Because if we don't try something harder or something new, that means that we're not going to learn new things. So it's good to challenge ourselves to always do our best, even though it is hard for us sometimes. Okay, page 10 and 11. Okay, let's start reading on page 10. Be silent when it's time to read. A quiet room is what we need. And we have read and need. Read, need, they both say eed. Okay, and our vocabulary word for page number 10 is silent. What is silent? That means absolutely quiet. Okay, that means no sound because we are reading. Okay, so we can concentrate on what we are reading because sometimes there's some questions that we have to answer, and if we are not understanding what we're reading because we're talking and doing other things, we won't be able to concentrate. Everything has to be silent so we are understanding what we are reading. And we see the teacher, there's a speech bubble, and she's saying shh, telling the boys and girls or the fish in that classroom, in that school, to be quiet, to be silent. All right, so let's read page 11. Your homework should be done each night. Please take your time and do it right. Okay, so we have night and right. Night, right, they both say it. Okay, and we have a word in bold print there in page 11 as well, and that word is homework. Okay, what is homework? I think we all know what homework is. That is schoolwork to do at home. So our teachers, we finished our day at school, then we take some things to do at home. That is our homework. And sometimes if we stay after school, we finish our homework after school. Okay. All right, let's go to our next page, page 12. Finn got to read the very last rule. It was important. Have fun at school. So we have two words there, rule and school. Rule, school. They both say ool. Okay, so that's pretty important, right, boys and girls, to have fun at school. We have to learn. Remember, we have to put first things first. We have to finish our work and then we play. So it's good to have fun at school. Remember that when you do all your work and finish everything that you need to do at Highlands, you get to sharpen the saw. And we have fun when we sharpen the saw. We have fun at school. All right, so now we have finished with our story. Now we are going to start with our first activity, our vocabulary meaning match. So if you take a peek, we have the definitions. We have it numbered from 1 to 8. So I will be helping you read those, or we can read them together. And then we have a word chest. In our word chest, boys and girls, we have all of the vocabulary words that we have been learning throughout our story. So what we're going to do is we're going to match them. Okay, we're going to match the definition with the vocabulary word. So if you want to also participate in this, you can go ahead and get something to write on. and get something to write with. Okay, it's your choice, whatever you want to use. If you have a notebook, a piece of paper, a dry erase board, whatever you want to use. Okay, all you have to do is write 1 through 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the only thing that you'll be doing is writing the words. Okay, so once we match them with the definitions, I will be putting a number beside our vocabulary word. Okay, so that's the word that you will be using for each of the numbers. So let's go ahead and get started with this activity. Okay, I'm going to read, or we can read number 1. What you should do, what you should or should not do. What is that? What you should or should not do. We have these at school, we have these at home, we have these in other places to keep ourselves and everyone else safe. What is that? That's right, it is a rule. Okay, so for number 1, you can write our vocabulary word rule. Okay, so rules are what we should or should not do. Okay, for number 2, to give your attention to something. To give your attention to something. And boys and girls, on the word chest, I am going to read these. We have rule, challenge, student, silent, homework, cooperate, backpack, and concentrate. Okay, so those are the exact same vocabulary words that we have learned throughout our story. Okay, so to give your attention to something is what? When we focus on something, we are what? We have to what? Very good. That is concentrate. That's a big, long, fancy word, right? Concentrate. To give your attention to something. So for number 2, write the word concentrate. That means to give your attention to something. Okay, now let's move on to number 3. You can help me read or read along with me. A large bag that you wear on your back. What is that we take to school every day? A large bag that you wear on your back. Very good. That is a backpack. Okay. What do we put in our backpacks? Well, we put our books, maybe we put our reading logs, our homework, and maybe some other belongings that we bring to school or take home. Okay, so a backpack is a large bag that you wear on your back. There's a lot of really cool backpacks that I've seen the students wear at school. Pretty cool. All right, number 4. Schoolwork to do at home. What is the schoolwork that you take to do at home? What is it called? Schoolwork to do at home. That's right, it's called homework. We take homework. That's work that we take home. School that we work that we have that we bring from school to take at home to finish at home, right? But like I mentioned before, sometimes we stay after school in our after school programs and we finish it there, even though it's not at home. It's after school, so it's still considered our homework. So when we get home, we get to sharpen the saw, right? Because we already put first things first. We finish our work. Now we get to play. All right, number 5. People who learn at a school. What are the people that learn at school? Okay, what are they called? The teachers have what in their classrooms? People who learn at a school. That's right, they are called students. Students. I know I miss my students, and I know all of the teachers miss their students. Okay, students. All right, so number 6, absolutely quiet. When someone is absolutely quiet, what is that? Absolutely quiet. That's right, it is silent. They are silent. So silent is number 6. Silent. silent. All right, number 7. To try to do something that is hard. To try to do something that is hard. We have 2 vocabulary words left over. It's challenge and cooperate. Which one of those 2 words do you think means to try to do something that is hard? Yes, that is to challenge. Challenge. That means that it's something that is hard for us to do, but we will still do it. We're going to try our best. Challenge. And number 8, to work together. And that is cooperate. That's the last vocabulary word that we have left over. So for number 8, you can write the vocabulary word cooperate. Cooperate. And that reminds me of one of our habits, boys and girls. That reminds me of our habit synergize. When we cooperate, we work together, we bring new ideas, we share ideas with each other and come up with a great idea, right? All right, so we're all done with this activity. So let's move on to the next. Okay, and we've learned these new vocabulary words that are in the word box, and we reviewed them with the activity we just finished, matching the vocabulary words to the definitions. Now we are going to use those vocabulary words in a sentence. So if you still have your piece of paper and you have room, you can go ahead and number it again, 1 through 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be writing the vocabulary word. Okay, that way you don't have to write the whole sentence. Okay, once we've used the vocabulary word, we're going to cross it out. So that way we don't, we know that it's already used because we're only going to use it one time. Okay, so if you're ready with something to write on and something to write with, let's go ahead and get started with our activity, fill in the sentence with a vocabulary word. Okay, so I'm going to start reading number 1 and you can read along with me. Okay, right here. The teacher asked her blank to sit on the carpet. Okay, so we're going to look at our word, We're going to look at our word box. Let me go back here. At our word box, and I'm going to read you those vocabulary words. We're going to start at the top with concentrate, rule, homework, backpack, silent, students, cooperate, and challenge. So we have all of those vocabulary words that we're going to use, boys and girls, to fill in the sentence. So I'll read number 1 again. The teacher asked her blank to sit on the carpet. Which one of those words best fits in that sentence? That's right. The teacher asked her students. Okay, so for number 1, let's write students. Students. Okay, so for number 1, we have students. Okay, number 2. An important safety blank is to look both ways before you cross the street. An important safety what? Is to look both ways before you cross the street. We have concentrate or rule. Which one of those 2 do you think fits best? That's right, a safety rule. Okay, so for number 2, we have the word rule. An important safety rule is to look both ways before you cross the street. Okay, let's read number 3 together. The audience was blank when the band was playing. The audience was blank when the band was playing. Okay, so could it be backpack or could it be silent? Backpack or silent? Yes, silent. The audience was silent when the band was playing. That means that they were being respectful. One of our lead expectations, right, boys and girls? to be respectful, they were being silent because when someone is talking to us, or in this case, they're performing for us, we need to be silent. Okay, number 4. Jeremy had to really blank to finish the puzzle. Jeremy had to really what? Could it be cooperate or could it be concentrate? Jeremy had to really blank to finish the puzzle. That's right, it is concentrate. That's a big, long, fancy word. Okay, Jeremy had to really concentrate. Okay, and there we go, concentrate for number 4. That's a big, long word. All right, number 5. I put the books and snack in my new red what? What is something we can use to put books and snack in when we go to school? And that we carry it in our back. That's another clue, right? And the word even has that word. Okay, that's right. It's backpack. Backpack. And that's for number 5. Backpack. Okay, so we have backpack for number 5. All right, number 6. If we all blank, I think we can win the game. If we all what? Is it cooperate or challenge? Which one of those two words do you think makes better sense? If we all cooperate, I think we can win the game. If we all challenge, I think we can win the game. Which one do you think fits best or makes better sense? Cooperate, right? Working together, synergizing. If we all cooperate. So that's the word, the vocabulary word that we will be using for number 6. Okay, number 7. I will do all of my blank before dinner. What is that work that we take home from school? What is that called? Very good. It's homework. I will do all of my homework, okay, before dinner. Homework. All right, and our last sentence, Noah had to blank himself to finish the difficult hike. Okay, remember is when we try something that's hard? What is that word? Noah had to blank himself to finish the difficult hike. And that is our last vocabulary word, challenge. Challenge is when we do something that's hard, but we try our best, right? Challenge. All right. So there are our 8 sentences that we used to fill in the blanks with all of our vocabulary words. Okay, we can read them again together. Number 1, the teacher asked her students to sit on the carpet. Number 2, an important safety rule is to look both ways before you cross the street. Number 3, the audience was silent when the band was playing. Number 4, Jeremy had to really concentrate to finish the puzzle. Number 5, I put the books and snack in my new red backpack. Number 6, if we all cooperate, I think we can win the game. Number 7, I will do all of my homework before dinner. Number 8, Noah had to challenge himself to finish the difficult hike. All right, boys and girls, you did an amazing job with those vocabulary words, filling in the sentence. Now we have some questions using some of your vocabulary words. Okay, so these questions you will have time later to write a statement. Okay, so that means you're going to write an answer for these questions. Remember when you are writing your sentences, boys and girls, to start with an uppercase letter. Also, leave finger spaces in between your words. And also, if you are answering a question, you are going to end with a period at the end. Okay? Because we're not asking a question, because all of these are questions. So we cannot answer a question with another question. We want to answer a question with a statement. Okay? So I am going to help you read it. Read number 1. What do you like to do after you finish your homework? And we have a student there finishing his homework. I wonder what he's going to do when he finishes his homework. Okay, number 2. What is one rule you know about safety? So we see 2 little girls there. They look like they're about to cross the street. What is one rule you know about safety? Okay, and number 3. What do you put in your backpack? We see several backpacks there. I wonder what they have inside their backpack. But I want to know, what do you put in your backpack? Okay, so like I said, you will have time to answer these questions later, or you can pause the video now and answer them now. All right, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and get started with a game. Okay, we get to sharpen our saw now. Okay, I have a sight word Scrabble game for you that we are going to be working on together. Okay, you will have 4 letters to put together to make a sight word. So let's see if you can figure it out before I give you the answer, okay? So on the top 2 rows, there are black group of letters, okay, that they're all mixed up together, okay, but they do make up a sight word. So underneath you have 2 rows of words that are in red, or red words. Those are sight words. Those are the sight words that we're going to use to unscramble the words that are at the top. Okay, so the first one that we have is a IPKC. So I have to look at the red sight words at the bottom, and I have to look for a word that has a I, a P, a K, and a C. Okay, I see a word, well, I see 2 words that have an I, but I only see one of those words that has a P. It also has a K, and it also has a C. So I am going to circle it so you know which word I am talking about. Did you find that one too? All right, well, let's go ahead and see if those are the same letters that are in this group of letters that are up here in the top. P, I, C, and then we have a K. So that sight word is pick. Pick. All right, and the next group of letters is a V-O-E-R. V-O-E-R. So I see 2 words with a V, but only one of those words has an O. So that must be it. Okay, actually, yes. So I am going to circle it. Okay, and then I'm going to write it right underneath that group of letters that's all mixed up to see if that's actually the sight word. Okay, so I have an O, then I have a V, then I have an E, and finally I have an R. That word is over. Over. Okay, so let's look at the next group of letters. E-T-B-S. E-T-B-S. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 words with an E. But there is only 1 word with a T, boys and girls. So that means that it has to be that one because it has to have a T. So let me check. I do see a T, and I also see a B, and I also see an S. So it has to be this one. Okay, so I am going to write it. It's a B, E, S, and then T. That is the sight word best. Best. Okay, let's take a peek at the next group of letters. V-I-L-E. There's the other group of letters that has a V. and I only see one sight word that has a V in it that is not circled. Remember, if it's circled, we're not going to use it again. We only use it once, okay? So I only see one with a V, so that must be it. It also has an I, it has an E, and it has an L. So I am going to circle it. Okay, so L, I, V, and then an E. That's the word live, live. Okay, so the next group of letters is A, B, A, O. A, B, A, O. And actually, boys and girls, that one of those A's needs to be a T. So I'm going to make this a T. Okay, so we have a little mistake there. So that needs to be a T. So it's A, B, T, O. A, B, T, O. So I see 2 words with an A and 2 words with a B, 2 words with a T, but only one with an O. Okay, so we have B, O, A, and then the T at the end. That's the sight word boat, boat. All right, so the next group of letters are W, D, A. R, W, D, A. So I see a sight word with, let me see, 2 sight words with an R. And the 2 sight words that I see also have a W, but only one has a D. And it also has the A. So I am looking at this sight word, okay? So it's D. First we are going to write the D, then a R, then comes the A, and finally the W. That sight word is draw, draw. Okay, next we have a sight group of letters with a C, E, O, N. C, E, O, N. Okay, so if I look, boys and girls, there's only one sight word with a C. I am going to check. It also has an E. Okay, it has an O, and it also has an N. So I am going to circle that, and then I'm going to write it underneath. O, N, C, and finally I have the E. That sight word is once, once. Okay, so let's take a look at the next group of letters. T, B, A, H. T, B, A, H. Okay, so from those 3 sight words that we have left over, I only see one with a T. Okay, and it also has a B, it also has an A, and it also has an H. So I am going to circle that, and the first letter is a B. Okay, I'm going to cross it out. Then I have an A, cross that out. Then I have a T, cross that out. And finally we have an H, cross that out as well. Okay, so I have all of those letters in that word, so that must be the word that belongs there. And that sight word is bath, bath. Okay, next group of letters, P, N, O, and an E. Okay, so if I look at the 2 sight words that I have left over, there's only one sight word, boys and girls, that has a P. I have to check if it has an N, and it does. It also has an O, and it also has an E. So I am going to circle that. So I am going to write O, and then we have a P, we have our E, and finally we have an N. So that sight word is open, open. Okay, so our last sight word for today we have has to be this one that's left. Okay, G, we have a G, then we have an R, cross it out, then we have an O, and finally we have our W. And that sight word is grow. Grow. Okay, boys and girls, you did such an amazing job with your sight words. Okay, now we are going to read our sight words. Okay, we're going to start reading the top row of red words, the ones that I circled. Okay, and then we're going to read the bottom row of red circled words. Okay, our sight words. Okay, so go ahead and read them with me. Live, live. Open, open. Over, over. Once, once. Draw, draw. Grow, grow. Pick, pick. Best, best. Bath, bath. Boat, boat. There we go. All done with our sight word Scrabble. So now we are going to move along to our math time. All right, boys and girls. So we have our first question is, what is the sum? Okay, so we have 10 plus 1. There's different ways that we can find this answer. Okay, the first one is with a number line. Okay, we're adding, so that means we are moving forward, and we are only moving forward one space. Okay, so that means this is going to be our answer. That means we're going to count on. What comes after 10? Well, it's 11. So 11 is our answer. We also can draw a tens frame. Okay, and how many lines do we draw in the middle? That's right, we draw 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we have to add one more. So 10, what comes after 10? We have 11. Also, boys and girls, we have where we have our tens and our ones. Okay, we have 1 10 and we have 1 1. So we have 10 and then one more. That makes it 11. All right, so our sum is 11. Okay, we have 10 plus 7. Again, I am going to add my number line, and then we're adding, so that means that I'm moving forward 7 spaces. Okay, I'm moving forward 7 spaces because I'm adding 7 to my 10. So help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that goes right there. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Okay, so our answer is 17. Also, boys and girls, I can cut this in half just like that. 7 plus 0 is what? 7. And then I just bring down my 1, so I get 17. Okay, which is my answer here. The same thing, I can use a tens frame. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I always make 4 because that gives me 10. Okay, that's why it's called a tens frame. And then I'm going to add 7 to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The same thing, I can add 1 10 and then 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So all of those, boys and girls, represent 17. 10 plus 7. Okay, so that is the sum. All right, 10 plus 2. Again, I have my number line 10, and then I'm going to count 2 more. 10 and then 1 and 2. Okay, and that's going to be my answer. So what comes after 10? 11 and 12. So my answer is 12. Again, if I had a tens frame, okay, and then remember 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that gives me 10. Okay, I'm writing my numbers just so you can see, so it's a visual. Okay, and then 2 more. So the same thing, it's the same concept as our number line. We are going to count on. We know we have 10 in our tens frame, so what comes after 10? 11 and 12, the same thing. Also, we can do our tens. Okay, in our ones, we have 1 10 and 2 ones. The same thing, 10, 11, and 12. So if we had 10 plus 2, we could also cut it in half just like that. 0 plus 2 is 2, and then we bring down our 1, so that makes it 12. All right, let's go to our next one. 10 plus 8. Okay, we're going to start with our 10 here. Okay, we are using the greater number. That means the bigger number in our equation here. Okay, so 10, and then it's adding. So remember, when it's adding, we are moving forward. So in this case, we are moving forward 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're stopping right here. We're going to count on starting from 10. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. We can also cut it in half like I've showed you before. We always start with the right first, okay? So 8 plus 0 is 8, and then we bring down our 1. So we got the same answer as we did in our number line. Again, we can represent it using a tens frame, and remember, it's 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's why it's called a tens frame, because it has 10. Okay, now we are going to add 8 more to that. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So that gives us the 18 that we have there as well. So if we were also doing our 10s and our 1s, we have 1 10, and then we would have 8 on this side, okay, to represent the 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Those are different ways how we can double check our work or represent the sum. Okay, so what is the sum? 10 plus 4. Again, we have our number line. We always start with a greater number. In this case, it's a 10. It's a plus. We're adding. The operation is adding. So we are going to move forward 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is going to be our answer. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, and 14. Remember, we have to count on. Okay, we also can do the 10s and the 1s. How many 10s are there? There's only 1, and there are 4 1s. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. That gives us 14. Again, we have our tens frame. How many lines? That's right, 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that gives us 10. Okay, that's why it's called a tens frame. And then we're going to add 4 1s to that. So 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right, we could also add vertically. Okay, we're going to cut it in half just like that. 0 plus 4 is 4, and then we have our 1, and we still get the same answer, the same sum, the same total is 14. Okay, subtract to find the difference. So now we are subtracting. We are no longer adding, we are subtracting. So we are taking away. So what happens in a number line if we are taking away? Well, we need to put the greater number at the end, and guess what we're going to do, boys and girls? When we add, we move forward. Well, when we subtract, we move backwards. Okay, so how many spaces backwards are we going? That's right, we're going to go back, move back 10 spaces. So help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is going to be my answer. So that means that I need to count backwards. We're going backwards. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and 7. So our answer is 7. Okay, the same thing with subtracting. Okay, we have 17 and then we are taking away. Okay, so say we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are only going to use this number. Okay, we're going to use the 17. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So we're going to take away 10. Okay, so that means that we're going to cross the tens frame out. Okay, because we are taking 10 away. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we have 7. Okay. All right. So the same thing could be 17, take away 10. I am going to cut it in half just like that. 7, take away 0 would be 7. I have 1 and I take 1 away, so that's 0. So my answer is 7. Okay, so the difference is 7. All right, subtract down and add up. So what they're talking about, boys and girls, is when we are subtracting, we are going down. Okay, and so you see we have a minus sign here on both of our problems. Well, there's a way to check our subtraction, and that's to add up. Okay, so we're subtracting going down. So if we were going to do this, I am going to draw a number line. Remember, we have a 12 here. And then we are going to move 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and that's going to be our answer. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. So my answer is 2. Well, let's check and see. Okay, if I were to cut this in half, 2 take away 0 is what? 2. And 1 take away 1 is 0. So that means that I only have 2. That's the same answer. Okay, so what they were talking about, boys and girls, is we are going to add going up. Okay, so you see how we have a box here at the top? Okay, so we are going to add these two numbers. Okay, we are going to add 0 plus 2 is 2, and then we just have a 1, so that's going to be 12. Okay, so it's the same thing as we have over here, but we are adding, we are going up, and subtracting, we are going down. Okay. All right, let's go do the next one. All right, we are going to 1. We have 1, and we don't take any away, so we still have 1. Okay, we have 1, and we take 1 away. How many do we have? That is 0. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add. We're going to go up. Okay, so 0 plus 1 is 1, and then we just have our 1 there. Okay, so we could do the same thing. 0 plus 1 is 1, and then we have a 1. It's the same thing, but we're adding, we are going up, subtracting, we are going down. And this is just a different way, boys and girls, to double check our subtraction. Okay, we're going to have the same numbers. It's kind of like if we had the triangle that looks just like this. Okay, we always have our greater number at the top. So in this case, it would be the 11. Then we have our 10. And then we have our 1. Okay, so if we are adding, okay, we're going to add, whoops, this is adding and this is subtracting. Okay, so 10 plus 1 is going to give me 11. Okay, and I have 11 take away 1, that's going to give me 10. And then we have 11 take away 10, it's going to give me 1. So those, it's kind of like a a fact family. Okay, that's basically what it is. All right, so subtract down and add up. Okay, so the same thing. We're going to cut it in half. 3 take away 0 is 3. We have our 3. And then 1 take away 1 is 0. Okay, so now we are going to add. Okay, We're going to add going up. So 0 plus 3 is what? It's 3. And then we're going to pretend like there's a 0 here because there's nothing. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So if we see it's the same exact numbers that we do when we are subtracting, okay? The same exact numbers. Subtracting, we go down. Adding, we go up. That's just a way to double check our work. So if we're subtracting, we can add to check our answer. And if we're adding, we can subtract to check our answer. Okay, it's like I said, it's kind of like a fact family. Okay, so now it's your turn, boys and girls, to log into MobyMax. Remember, you're going to go onto this website, www.mobymax.com. You're going to sign in you're going to click on the orange sign in tab. Okay, once you click on there, you're going to see this screen at the bottom. Make sure that you are signing in as a student. Okay, then you're going to enter under school name, you're going to type in Guadalupe Center. And if you need to grab a piece of paper or something to write Guadalupe Center on there, you can. You can pause it and write it on there, or you can ask an adult to help you. Remember to leave one finger space between Guadalupe and Center. Once you do that, I want you to click on this Find button there and or box, and then you're going to see that Guadalupe Center is going to come up under school. I want you to click on that. Okay, once you click on that, you are going to come to this other screen. Okay, make sure you are in as a student again. Okay, make sure that you see Guadalupe Center so that you are in the correct school. For your username and password, you are going to use your lunch number, okay? Your lunch number, your student number is the same thing. Go ahead and put that on both username and password, and then you're going to click on this green sign in rectangle, okay? Click on that. Okay, once you do that, you are going to see your name right here where I just put that oval there. No one's name is up there, but your first and last name will be there. Okay, once you you see your first and last name, you want to make sure that it's you, and then you're going to click on this green math icon on that green box that says math, and then you will start your math lesson. It might be the same lesson that I just did with you, or it might be a new lesson. So it could either be a new instruction or it could be a review for you. All right, boys and girls, I hope you have enjoyed my lesson, and until next time.